everyone, and welcome to YarnGasm. I'm Kristen, and this is episode 97. It's January 6th, 2014, and yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. 2014, let's do this. I hope everyone had a wonderful New Year's Day, fun, safe New Year's Eve, so to speak. Yeah, it's cold, it's freezing, and tomorrow is not going to be pleasant here on the East Coast. It was 50 degrees today, freakishly, and New Year's Eve, I remember it was so cold that I forgot. It was just cold. It was really cold. So my Pasha hat, my Harpswell pullover, my mittens, random vanilla socks that I was wearing, and my Cladonia shawl, which is I remember it's frog tree, 100% alpaca, kept me super warm. So, yeah, I put everyone to shame that night. But anyway, I hope everyone is, happily wearing their woolens and whatnot. Um, and the other night, Dennis actually played a show with his band, and, his bandmate was actually like, oh my gosh, I'm wearing like the warmest socks ever, and my feet are still freaking cold. And Dennis is like, oh, well, Kristen knit me a pair of hand knit socks, and he actually showed them off to all his bandmates, and he's like, my feet are super warm. I was like, score. I was so proud. Anyway, that said, yeah, let's dive into the first episode of the new year. Uh, yeah, so Ravelena games, just a couple of, housekeeping notes and whatever. Not that that's housekeeping notes. Ravelena games are coming up fast, and I am partaking in them, and I just joined Team Sasquatch, which, if you are not familiar, is a Ravelenic group, if you will, that encompasses all the podcasts. So if you enjoy listening to a bunch of podcasts and don't want to just join one, put all your eggs in one basket, and you want to just, because you love all the podcasts like I do, join Team Sasquatch. I'm a team captain along with many other podcasters. It was actually started by Jasmine and Gigi of the Knitmore Girls, so thank you to them. But yes, if you are team particular, I did start a YarnGasm Ravelenic game group in the YarnGasm Revelry thread. So join up, say hello, introduce yourself. I'm not going to have any specific goals or rules or anything because, well, first of all, this is my first year doing the Ravelenic games. This is part of my New Year's goals. So, just to partake in a lot of knitting activities or events that occurred throughout the year, and the Ravelenics happen to be one of them. So this is that year. But yeah, I started a group, so join up, say hello. As I was saying, no rules. I'm just thinking it should be something, either that you want to choose a project that is somewhat challenging, or you might learn a new technique that you want to learn, or something a little bit challenging, or just work on a project that you have been having trouble completing. For example, I was thinking, I just started the Vivid Afghan. I'm actually, I will get to it later, but I'm in for a long haul. I think I'm going to be making that my main focus of the Ravelenic games, just seeing how many squares I can churn out in that 2-week span. I know Jinx, Laura from the Dyer's Notebook mentioned the last time she partook in the game, she saw how many socks she could knit within that time frame. So this time she's thinking, instead of doing pattern socks, she's going to be doing stockinette stocks. I was thinking about doing that as well, but I'm thinking, since the Vivid is such an involved project, or monotonous, that I have to churn out so many squares, I'm just going to focus on that. So I think that's going to be my main focus for the Ravelenic game. So we still have time, so no pressure yet. So yeah, let's move on to what's off the needles. I do have something off the needles, but not complete. I have one breaking I have one Breaking Hearts sock bound off. It's all done. And the yarn is another crafty girl in her strong sock in Mermaid Enchantress. And that's a lot of teals, yellows, corals, oranges. A little out of my comfort zone, but I love it. I love the way it knit up and everything. And here's that, if you can see, special heel gusset decrease. So normally you're used to seeing, the gusset decreases or the instep decreases along the top, but here in this pattern, it's towards the bottom. So it has a nice, well, everything's reversed. So it has a nice, deep, curved heel. And I actually did really enjoy knitting it. It was different, so it switched things up for me. And as you can see, it has like a nice twisted stitch cast on, which looks hard, but it's super easy, easy to memorize. It's actually fun. So highly recommend this pattern. It's easy to memorize and it's basically potato chip knitting at this point. So I think I'm just gonna have to, when I get to the heel on the next sock, which I only cast on the cuff part. But when I get down to the heel and the gusset decreases, I'm probably gonna have to check out the pattern again because it's all new to me. But anyway, yeah, about it. I finished knitting the cuff and ow, kitty! I have a cat on my lap and she's clawing. Ah, these are new tights, kitty. Come on. There goes a new pair of tights. Oh well. Anyway, as I was saying, these are my Chiao Goos, my US 1 circulars, the red lace thing. So, my favorite pair of circulars. I may have to get a new pair. I don't know. I just want to stock up. And as you can see, like, these are actually kind of bent or warped because I probably use them so much. So I think a new pair is in order. Again, yeah. So, all right, kitty. Kitty would like to say hello, or she's going to say hello. So say Happy New Year, Bella. Happy New Year. You love it when I make you talk, don't you? Okay. She said Happy New Year, so yay. Your job is done. So that's off the needles for this week. As far as what's still on the needles, yay, because we have stuff that's still on the needles. Well, as you know, I finished my hand-dyed vanilla sock a couple weeks ago, so this is done. And I am actually, the second one is living in my Jessa Lou lighthouse bag with the lobster interior. Lobsters! I love doing that, I'm sorry. So I've made progress on it. Dennis and I have been catching up on Dexter. We are behind about like 2.5 seasons now. I know what happens at the end, by the way. BuzzFeed ruined it for me. I knew what I was getting into. I knew I was going to find out what happened if I clicked on the link, but I know what happens and I know I'm not going to like the ending, but we're still watching it, going strong, and it's holding our attention. So I knit on my second vanilla sock, so I should be long done with this a while ago, but you know, I want to knit all the things. So here I am with this much done. So I may or may not finish it tonight. I don't know. Probably not. I'm probably just going to finish it at the end of the week. I don't know. We'll see. It's Monday, by the way. Well, I did have time over the weekend. I just didn't have alone time to podcast. And I just enjoy podcasting when I have quiet, no distractions. It never happened. But anyway, I'm podcasting now. I'm back from work. A little bit tired, a little bit scatterbrained, but hey. Yeah. So, working on this. Oh, I mentioned this was my hand dyed that I dyed up a while ago. Acid dyes and whatnot. So yeah, and I have more hand dyed to show you later on. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. So yes, that is on the needles. And since I was talking about my vivid afghan that I was knitting, I have officially reached 6 squares, and my other shipment of knit picks came in. So I have 6 squares to show you. Not that there's anything different about any of them. They're just, you know, they're there. So we have velvet. Oh, by the way, the yarn is Knit Picks Fingering Gloss, which is, let me see, do I have? This is a different color, but it's Knit Picks Gloss in their fingering weight. This is porcini that I'm showing you, not a color that I'm using, but it's 70% merino wool, 30% silk. You get 220 yards per skein, and I think you get, I can knit maybe 4 squares per skein, and it blocks out to, I believe, about 7 inches per square. So I'm trying to knit an 8 by 8 Afghan, 8 by 8 feet Afghan. So I did the math, and I have about maybe 136 more squares to go. So yeah, that's why I'm making this the focus of my Ravelinic knitting project. So yeah, so this is Velveteen, the colorway. And then the next one is Robot, which is a nice light gray. And the next one is Hawk, which is a nice gunmetal type grayish colorway. And I have to say, I love the way it's knitting up. It's soft, it's squishy, it feels silky, and I know when I knit up the first square, I was like, I would love a blanket in this. And it's just so soft. And I know it's going to be warm. And it has like a nice little sheen to it, if you will. So, yay! Squish! Okay. Anywhooser. So yeah, the box of yarn that I got is over there. But you can imagine, I just got 3 skeins of each for now. I have, yeah, about 3 skeins of each. I'm guessing I'm probably gonna have to order more at some point. But yeah, oh, and also I have the 7th square already cast on. But see, these may look familiar to you. Knit Picks just got a new line of DPNs in, or I should say needles, and they come in, circulars, straights, and DPNs, and I ordered the DPNs. These are the Caspians. It's their new, it's very, very pretty, like all these teals and like sea colors, kind of like, it's the cool version of their Harmony colors, which are bright rainbowy wooden sticks. So these are actually, I highly recommend these. I mean, especially for this pattern, because I remember I cast on this pattern using metal DPNs and the stitches were just like sliding right off. And knitting this on circulars, it was just it was very fiddly. I tried, I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, I was doing magic loop on them, but for some reason, just starting off with a pinhole cast on that's required for this, it was just a little bit fiddly, and I really enjoy working with these. I guess any wooden DPN will work. Doesn't necessarily have to be Caspian, but like clovers or what have you. But yeah, I'm really enjoying working with them, and no splinters yet or anything. I mean, they're very smooth. I mean, I guess that's my review. And these are in US 5. 8 inches. So highly recommend them if you're in the market for wooden DPNs. What else was I gonna say? Oh, the pinhole cast on. I memorized it already. It took me a while to get, but right now it's like clockwork. I just cast on and it's no big deal. So in case you're wondering about that, the tutorial for that is free, but it gives you, when you purchase the Vivid pattern from Tin Can Knits, it gives you a link directly to the tutorial. So the more you know. Yeah. So what else? What else? Oh, Starditis struck once more. I was watching Stockinette Zombies, like I do, a while back, and Megan was. I just got wind of Megan's. Measure in Love hat pattern, and she knit up one, and I've seen a bunch of others knit up, and I could not resist casting on one myself. I was actually browsing through my stash, and I came across a skein again of Knit Picks City Tweed DK, and I was like, what am I going to do with this? I really just want to get rid of it. Not get rid of it, but like I want to use it already, because it's in, this is their Blue Blood colorway, which is kind of like an ox blood, if you will. Really pretty. I don't know so much if red really isn't my color, but I just kind of want to stock up on maybe gifts for next year, or see if Dennis wants to wear it. I don't know. But I saw it, and the first pattern that came to mind when I looked at it, I was like, oh, I can knit a Measure in Love hat. And off to Ravelry I went to download it, and here I am. Halfway done. I worked on it a little bit, mostly last week, but then a little bit over the weekend. Get that inside out. But it's coming along very well. I'm almost done with the first pattern repeat, and then I have to do it again, and then I get to bind off. So, slouchy hat, big plus. But this is not going to me. I don't know about the recipient. They better love slouchy hats. But yeah, I mean, it has a lace pattern to it, but I feel this could be it could be unisex. It could be both for men and women, I feel like. If, you know, you want to get rid of the lace, I'm sure you can modify it yourself and just, you know, instead of doing yarn overs, you could just do a make one or something and still get the texture. Um, but yeah, I really enjoy it. And the best part about it is it goes to a good cause, for women's health issues. Just, you know, I'll post a link in the show notes, but it goes, you know, all the proceeds that, you pay for the pattern go towards women's health. And, you know, you can read more about it on the website. But yeah, it's for a good cause. So happy to knit it. And I love the way it's turning up. So yay. And again, another soft, squishy yarn. I don't know. Love. I'm gonna knit Pix Kick again, guys. What do you know? And the yarn and the needles I'm using are actually clovers. They're just, you know, US 5. That's what the pattern calls for, US 5 needles. And I believe it might be a 24-inch. I think it's 24-inch circular because right now the hat is totally in the round and I don't have to use magic loop. So yeah, very straightforward pattern. Highly recommend. Yeah, and my yarn ball falls that way. Okay. Oh no. Okay. All right now. Otherwise I'll never get to it. Look what just happened. Good times, good times. Oh yeah. It's been a long day. My hair is doing weird things at the side. Okay, I'll edit that. What else? I want to look at show notes. I have a lot to talk about today, guys, and okay, covered that. And I talked about that. Okay, we are up to spinning. Yay, and I have done spinning. I've actually whipped out the Lendrum, and I worked on my loop bat, which, by the way, you guys are going to hate me. I'm going to do all this crinkling, but look how much I worked through here. I was going to weigh it, but then I got distracted, and I did not weigh it. But this is, apologize again for the crinkling. It's my loop bat that I got from Rhinebeck this year, and it's their Spontaneous Spinning Clouds Dream Come True, which is Merino, Tussa Silk, and Angelina. And I got 4 ounces. And I think I'm about maybe a little bit more than halfway done spinning with it. It's spinning up a little thicker than I usually spin up. But here is what's left. How beautiful is that? So as you can see, I basically spun through most of the darker shades in this bat. I don't know what you want to call this color. I guess it's more like a deep purplish slate, not slate gray, but it's a charcoal gray. And I'm gonna lift up my Lendrum. Try not to destroy anything in the process of doing so, but why do we do this, guys? I really don't know why we do this on shows, but anyway, here's where I am. It's this is a workout. But yeah, I've spun up a lot, and I really love the way it's spinning up. I don't know, yeah, okay. Down boy, down girl, I should say. I love you, Tallulah. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to be knitting with it. If I had a guess, maybe a dragonfly shawl. Just copy Laura from Dyer's Notebook. I don't know, but I like the way hers turned out, and it seems to be a great pattern to knit up hand-spun yarn, if you will. And I think I'm going to Navajo ply just to keep the colors consistent because, yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've just been going, you know, grabbing the dark color from the bat, spinning it, and then whatever lighter color comes out of the bat that I pull, I just kind of radiate it into that. So yeah, I've just been doing that while listening to some audiobooks, to be precise. If you are a fan of Outlander, I read Outlander last year, the actual digital book, on my Kindle, and this year, as I mentioned, I went to a holiday party at Maria from the Subway Knits podcast. Or she had me and Kim over from Craft Stash podcast, and we had a great time. And I caught wind on her bookshelf. I said, I read that. I read the first book in that series, and it's missing. Where'd it go? Or we got into talking about it, and yeah, lo and behold, yeah. So I got the bug again, and I'm on to the second book, but I'm listening to it via audio podcast. And by the way, they're coming. Stars, if you're not familiar, the cable channel is actually coming out with a TV show, a series based on the book Outlander. I will post. I'm blanking on the author, but I will post a link to it in the show notes, because if you're into into sci-fi and borderline erotica, this might be the book for you. And by the way, it's nothing compared to 50 Shades of Grey. Please, if you have not read it, blows it away. I'm sorry, the writing is impeccable. There, you can't even compare it. It's just so much better writing. Anyway, let's not even mention 50 Shades. Why? Okay, so spinning. That is taken care of. Awkward. Oh my goodness. Okay. Adventures in Hand Dyeing. I'm so giddy tonight, guys. Okay. So, okay, Adventures in Hand Dyeing. I dyed 2 new skeins. One. These are not reskeined, by the way, so they're just kind of in their normal, natural form, the way I dye them. I dyed up this lovely bit of business right here. It's like variegated blue, shaded blue, I should say, and gray, and it's kind of like Doctor Who-ish. I was gonna call it The Angels Have the TARDIS. So yeah, I'm sure it's gonna look way awesome once I reskein it, with all the colors jumbled in there. So this was fun to spin up. And this one I called Judy's a Punk, named after the Ramones, obviously, the Ramones song. So black mixed up with like speckles of pink and gray, or it's like dyed gray. I actually did this one in the pot. I did submersion, or what do you call it? You boil water, you pour dye into the pot, and then you soak one end, and then you pull it out, and then you put in new dye, and then you dye. What? I don't remember what I did. No, I do. What I did was I dyed half the skein. It's in a loop, and with ties and everything. And then I dyed half of it with gray, because that's the lighter color. And once all that color exhausted out of the water, I rinsed it out, spun it, and then in the salad spinner, just to get all the excess water out. And then I put black dye in, submerged the other half in, let that color take to the yarn, pulled that out, spun it around in the salad spinner, and then I splattered it with pink dye, just the powder. No, I did dilute the powder into like a very saturated dye, and I just kind of like splattered it a little bit. So this one I really, really like. I think I'm gonna knit this one up next, but and I may do a giveaway. I don't know if you're interested. But speaking of giveaways, the show is reaching its 100th episode, and I'm going to be doing a lot of giveaways, so stay tuned. I'm going to be announcing the giveaways in the next episode, so everyone will have enough time to partake in entering. So yay! Stay tuned for that. So yay, 2 skeins. I don't think I dyed. No, I did dye the weekend before, but I didn't do any dyeing this past weekend. So yeah, that's what that. And then what else? Show notes. Oh, because you asked. Okay. Because you asked. I've been getting a lot of questions about socks lately. KnitXXNat asks, I'd love to hear about how you knit socks. Do you have any tips or tricks that help you? What yarns do you normally use, weight and type of yarn? Is there a knitting technique, even a style of knitting like continental, etc., that knits them faster, etc.? I love to be able to knit socks properly and have a lovely pile of hand knits rather than the frogged or half-finished socks I have lying around. So, to answer your question, do I have any tips or tricks? Honestly, no. I mean, my favorite method of knitting hand socks is hands down magic loop. I will not, unless I'm desperate. My favorite way to knit socks is magic loop and on Chiaogu's US ones. I always knit my socks on US ones unless I'm knitting. I know the recipient has a larger foot, wider foot, then I will up it to a US 2. But I feel magic loop for me is fast. The way I hold the yarn. I feel like I should show you how I hold the yarn, so to speak. But I know everybody. I was actually watching the Homespun podcast, which if you have not heard of, they are awesome. Um, Again, blinking on names, I can't remember, but they are two awesome girls. They are in Germany. They speak English. Podcast is done. The video podcast is done entirely in English, and they were talking about technique in one episode. So, the way I hold yarn, again, magic loop. Basically, you have all your stitches divided among two needles, like so, and then you have your working yarn on the needle. You always start your next row with the working yarn on the needle behind the needle that's in front of you, if that makes any sense. I should do a tutorial, proper video tutorial. But to start the next row, you pull the back needle out and then insert it into the first stitch of the needle that's in front, and then you just begin knitting. And this is what I do automatically when I cast on. I do it so fast I can't really. Oh wow. Okay. The fact that I'm actually showing you how to do it threw me totally off. But I hold my yarn like this. I wrap it around twice. I wrap it twice around my index finger, and then loop it around so it goes under my middle finger and over the second to last, the finger right before my pinky. So it kind of does like a it threads it a little bit, and then I just knit. I knit, you know, and that's how I roll. But this is the way I believe I started as a thrower. I don't even know if you call this throwing because I don't. I see people on the train sometimes. They do. This is like full on throwing. You put the needle in with one hand, take the yarn, wrap it around, pull it under and over the stitch. But I just thread it like this. It's like autopilot for me. I don't have to think about it. I just do it. I just go in and out, in and out. So that's how I, knit in general. Excuse me. The heel flap, I just knit the entire sock the same way. And yarn that I use, I always use fingering weight for socks, normally funky colors. No brand in particular that I prefer over the other. I know Bloom and Fiber Arts has a very strong, dense, like even they're lightweight, it's like a dense fabric that it creates. It depends like what you want, basically. It's like if you want a lightweight sock, you have to do your research. I don't really know how it works out, but the best way to do it is trial and error. If you see a colorway that you love, buy it because you love the color, play with it, and the more yarn bases you try out, the more you'll realize which sock base you enjoy knitting with more, or the product that comes out of it. What else? Let me refer back to the question. Continental, no. Should I do I knit? So yeah, and I find like the way knitting goes faster is like take your socks with you, your projects that are on the needles in the car, watch TV with them. Like especially if you're knitting vanilla socks, just whenever you're watching TV, whenever you're on the phone, if you're in the car and you have a long road trip, that's when I knit on my my vanilla socks. That's what gets it out fast. So because my brain is just occupied with something else, and yeah, so that's the way, that's my advice. And someone actually asked if I could, and Packy Knits One on Ravelry actually asked if I could draw up a pattern for my version of a vanilla sock, and yes, I'd be very happy to. It'll be a free pattern on Ravelry that you can download. I'll put it on my blog, voolenvine.com, so you can get it there, and I will let you know as soon as that gets up, as soon as that's posted. So stay tuned. yeah, because everyone has their, their way of, doing a certain thing. So I'm happy to share mine. But yeah, so yeah, thanks for asking. As always, if you have any questions about anything knitting related, just hop over to Ravelry, the YarnGasm Ravelry thread, and under because you asked, and ask away, ask any questions, and I'll try and address it on the show. So thanks, guys. What else? Um, I believe that's it, except for Vogue Knitting Live is coming up fast. Actually, on Saturday. It's gonna be the weekend of January 18th, and it will be at the Hilton Hotel in New York City, and I will be there on the 18th only, just enjoying the marketplace. And yeah, if you are coming, if you're attending, when you see me, stop by, say hello. I'm trying to work out a podcaster meetup. I know Maria from the Subway Knits podcast is going. I'm not sure if Kim's going. I'm sure she is, but we'll try and coordinate and get a meetup going. So look forward to seeing you there if you're going. And yeah, so other than that, I feel like I'm missing something. I don't think so, but anyway. Happy New Year, everybody. Stay warm. As always, I love hearing from you. If you, pop by on Ravelry, on Twitter, my email, voolenvine@gmail.com, on the blog, what have you. Leave a review on iTunes. Yay, that'd be great. Thanks. I just love hearing from you guys. So that said, everyone, Happy New Year, and I will see you next time. Happy knitting. Bye. La 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 la.